Welcome to the late night session of the 999 show, sketchbook watercolors for the art night. This is the second time, actually it's the third time I've done a live stream today. And if you're just joining in, there are these buttons. I'm trying to reach 1,000 as soon as possible. So what we did when we first started out coming in here, we did this shape. This was the very first time, my very first time trying watercolors. And so I started doing this, but I did it all wrong. I got the numbers wrong. So at the end, we're going to go do the swath card on the other side. So this Van Gogh pocket box, it's a Van Gogh pocket box. It came with a 15 colors and a watercolor brush, like that. And then, okay, so I found my spray bottle. So when you first begin, you begin by activating the colors by giving it just a little spray. There we go. Uh-oh. This is not working out too well. I should have had this back, but it's okay. I don't have any fixer. My fixer is not working very well, so maybe we'll just start here. Start here with, we're going to pull some color down, and what is, I really like this ultramarine blue. So we're going to take some of this, quite a bit of this, a little bit more. We're still just trying to figure out how watercolors behave, and watercolors behave so much different than do the acrylic paints. And so this is my second time ever using watercolor paints. And this is just some practice stuff, some practice sessions. I really don't know what I'm doing, but there is a first time for everything. And it is important just to jump in and do and try stuff. Because that's really how you learn how to do something new, is you just do it by trying. Now, I know this looks like hell. I used a charcoal pencil here, and it smears and it's smeary and everything else, and things look really amateuristic because they are. But there's nothing wrong with being an amateur. And let's go do another color here. I'm gonna make sure that I clean my brush off, because you see over here I have some cross-contamination of the colors, and I'm gonna come down here with this, and we'll put that over here, and a little bit more water, because I think maybe this will be a little bit darker this way. And we'll work on, this is my sketchbook, sketchbook. There's 20 sheets of student grade watercolor paper, 4x6, tied together in a block. And I'm gonna get working on that one. It's just right over here, but we're just playing right now, and that's what we're doing. And when I'm gonna finish up the painting that I started a few hours ago. Actually, it was before dark on my time. It's like 11:15 on Pacific time. I'm on the Pacific coast of the United States, and we're gonna go till probably like midnight. I'm just going to do this, though. Work on some happy little letters. Happy letters. Paying attention to the behaviors of these paints. That was a little bit stronger there. So more water, less water, getting something else. So let's go do a different color. Over here. So I did the ultramarine blue in the middle, but let's go and get something like this green. What color green is this? We'll just put it here. A little bit more there. Add some water. You know, when I'm adding like the brush into the water thing, it reminds me of being a kid and coloring eggs for Easter. Did you ever do that? Color Easter eggs? And these colors are just, you kind of go on here. And so this Van Gogh watercolor paint set, it's called a pocket box. I think I got it for $20. $20 is what it costs, and it came with 15 colors plus this little brush that is yeah, and so that's good. It's got 15 colors plus a little brush. Watercolors. I think I want to come and do just another color here. Let's go. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Gosh, I gotta clean the brush off in between uses. Okay, so now this is sort of a bluish green, kind of a greenish yellow kind of a color over here. Kind of move that color, and that's all right. I'm just blending the colors together. You don't really need, starting out, to have a huge number of colors, because you can, use layering, and with layering you can make the colors that you need. And so what we're going to be doing in this project tonight, I'm going to be finishing. I got this little watercolor that I just started. It was just a sample. I did a sketch, and I wanted to do some more layers and let the paper dry fully before moving on to the next step. And so in just a second here, we're going to start that next step. And you know what? You can use this video for a sleep aid if you want. You can listen to the sound of my voice. And so here is what we got. Let's see if I could move the camera just a little bit so you can see the whole thing. There it is. And I'm thinking, in starting out here, I wanted to I want to add some layers of bright yellow to the surface here, so it makes everything more luminescent. And that's what we're going to work on now. And that, I think that will help finish things up. And I really like how, with these water splotches and the behaviors of the color on the paper, and how those colors are running together. And so I'm going to use this really bright yellow right over here. I lift it off, and I'm going to put it on into this area, and we're going to just see what happens. I'm going to come in, and hopefully it will have a luminescent quality to it. And I feel like I need to get more of this color. I'm just going to try to fill up this tray with this color. And just the man on the moon, or Humpty Dumpty in the egg. And that's what this guy is. He's the little Humpty Dumpty. I'll just set it up here so it's on a little bit of an angle, a little bit of incline. And that incline, using that gravity there, is also like a tool of your art. Gravity as a brush. Use a gravity brush. You know, I don't know that I need the yellow all over this cloud here. Got these yellow clouds in the sky, happy clouds. Happy clouds on a happy day like today. In the middle of the winter, when it is the time that you'd like to have an endless summer. Bright yellow skies. That's kind of what I'm feeling right now. Endless summers. We're going to paint this yellow over the whole, kind of a whole surface, just to bring out that extra light. The sun, which is bright behind this Humpty Dumpty egg creature of the night. It is in imagination land. This is where we're starting out at. Imagination land. Activating the colors. You know, I really had no idea that it was going to be this much fun. Because sometimes when I'm doing the acrylics, it is a lot of work. There's a lot of this emotional investment, emotional energy that goes into creating art. And when I first started doing art on this channel, this is what it was like. And so in starting this brand new medium, I am seeing this process from a brand new perspective. And so maybe when I go back to doing my acrylics, that there will be a new lease, a new look. But I'm sure the newness feel of the watercolors will wear off as we end up doing more and more complex things. But that is just the nature of things. That's just the nature of art and how art works. You know, once you kind of master one style. Now, Grant, I haven't necessarily mastered acrylic painting yet. I am still a learner there. I'm still working on mastering that art. So if you're new and just joining, please push the like button. If you like what you see, you may not like what you see. You may find this incredibly boring. But you know, that's okay. I'm sure that Bob Ross videos were pretty incredibly boring too to some people. I remember when I first started watching Bob Ross, and that was back when he was on PBS, The Joy of Painting. I don't know if I saw him when he was actually live doing it. I think that I didn't have a TV at that time, but I certainly watched Bob Ross when he was on PBS in the repeats and so forth. I think I'll put that yellow on in this area too and see how it behaves and how it runs together. It's just such a fascinating experience. This dabbing, this color on there. You know, and it's sort of pooling up on the surface, but it will soak in. It'll soak in and create patterns. Patterns of information. Patterns of force. Patterns. Let's go in now and pull up a different color. I think I want to do this color over here. It's kind of this brownish color. I'm going to mix it over here. I probably shouldn't be mixing it, but it goes in there. It's a red, an earthy tone red color. A little bit more water. Oh, and these other colors in here, and they'll just sort of blend in together to create just some different things. Was that like a black color? No, but it turned that way. Which means we'll just let it dry, and then we'll add a different color in altogether after it dries. Sort of this very simplistic landscape. Ghost Face Lover, thank you. Thank you. This is just something very brand new. We'll kind of just put it in here. Maybe put a little kind of a thing, a mountain, simple mountain in the background. Maybe like that. Come there. I run a variety show on this channel. I do a variety of different things. Something in the distance. That water's running on here. So you love art. Yeah. How many people live stream art that you've seen? There we go. It's like they're in the distance. Let's see what we can do with these over here. Kind of to work on the shapes, so maybe you think it's something or not. I don't know. We're just working at it. Just working at it. Now, let's go. I want to make sure, because this is a brand new set. I got this. So you've never seen anybody live stream art before. I know there's a guy that I saw that was live streaming puppetry or something like that. It was making clay puppets and so forth. But let's do one of these. Let's see what this color is. Put that in there. It's kind of a purpley color. Well, I know that most people don't live stream art because it's a long and boring thing. And so what we got doing here is we're doing these layers. And of course, you're not going to be able to see what it's going to turn out to be because, you know, I can only put so much color on here before I have to stop and let it dry. And so what's going to happen here is I'm going to push as much color on here as I possibly can, and then I'm going to let it dry while I go and do another task, which is earlier when I opened up this set, I tried to do the swath card. It has spots for 12, but it had 15 colors, and I got off. And so we're going to go do the swath card on the other side and try it this time. And I want to get it right so I know what the colors are and get to know all of that stuff. And I want to add a different color into this to make it, maybe we'll tone it down. We'll add some of this color. Tone down, and we're going to tone down this stuff over here. And we're going to put it in there. It may have too much water in it, but it kind of makes kind of a earthy tone. But what I just feel like what I need to do is we need to add more light to it. Like I did a layer of yellow over the whole surface, and I feel like I need to do another layer of yellow on this, but it's still a little bit too wet right now. But before we stop and move on to that next task, I am going to work a little bit more blue on the moon egg thing, whatever this thing is. And I think we'll do this lighter blue. And we'll put this over here. We'll add some water to it. Add some water. And see what kind of textures we can put in here when we just kind of load this up. So it had some textures down below, but you know, we're going to what's nice about this is that how I've gotten some instant success. Instant success. And then we'll just do a little of this. Oh, I don't think I wanted to go clear down there, but all right. We did. And that was a feature I wasn't expecting. Okay. Well, let's just clean the brush off. Clean the brush off. Make sure it's clean. And now I'm going to go back in to this white. I'm going to lift off all of this color. We're going to put it over here. I'm going to lift off the color. I'm going to put it over here, and we're going to mix it down in here like that. And I'm just going to put this in here. Maybe just a little bit of spill over to the side. Add some little bit of a character to it. It's very cartoonish. I do not draw very well. That was not something I was able to really get a grasp on. But I try, and so this is very cartoonish. But we're going to be trying on this channel. We're going to be trying in 2025 to improve on my drawing skills, and so that in doing that I can do more complicated artworks. And let's just add these different color variations on here. Oh, thank you. I'm trying here. I kind of copied this moon card from the Aquarian Tarot, and I did that sort of a design because I like that design, and it was just something very basic because I just opened up this paint set today, and this is my second time into this paint set. I like that original color, and I'm going to preserve that. And so there will be another layer coming on top here. So what I'm going to do right now is we're going to set this thing aside, and I'm going to go work on the color swatch thing. So we have 15 colors, and then we're going to come back to this thing in like 15 minutes, because I'm going to let this thing dry. I'm going to come back to it in like 15 minutes and see how much more we can do. So I'm going to divide this into 15 spots. So how much space do I need? Now this one over here, what does it show? That it's like, is each one of these things like an inch wide? Yeah, roughly. If that's about an inch wide, it is, let's see, what, 15? So that's 3 times 5. I need five spots. So if I come in like this, and we come at this point, we got to remember where this is at. We have a spot here, 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 and there. Let's do it again. And let me just move this over here. This is 5 1/4 inch. No, 5 1/8 inch. 1/8, and we'll start there, 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 there. And so we'll just want to dry this off a little bit. We'll just dry it because I don't want any smudges. No smudges. Okay. Now it's going to come down. We'll draw some straight edge. I was actually really good at drafting in high school. And beyond high school, I took some AutoCAD. I think I did that. This is very difficult because where I need to be looking at, I'm looking directly above the camera, trying to eyeball things here, make some straight lines, just like that. I guess it doesn't have to be perfect, does it? No. I know this is where I've lost everybody, because I'm gonna lift this up a little bit so I get some more room here to work. My little drawing that I did in the sketchbook is drying right now. I have to it's got too much water on there for me to do any more on it. So we're just doing something else for a short time. And so at this point in time, for those who like ASMR voices, and visual textures. This would be your video. This would be your video. Okay. And then one more little swath down here. All right. So that is, now I need to, let's see, what else was we did? We need, this is the Van Gogh pocket box, is what it's called, pocket box. And so how much did they, I need a spot. So it's 1 inch, let's see. So we're coming down, that's 3.5 inches. So it needs a, I guess, if we do it like this, boom, 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 boom. Wait, it's not showing up. Boom, 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 boom. Over there. And what did I do? Okay, 3 1/8 right over here. We're dividing this up into quadrants. So just in case you weren't very good at this in school, this is how you do it. Boom, 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 boom. You got to put the sound effects in, otherwise it doesn't work, you know. Okay, I bored everybody to death and everybody's gone. Maybe they'll come back in a few minutes. Boom. This looks like it's going to be weird. It's not going to be even at all. Boom. Try it one more time. Boom. And then down here, the last section. Da 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 do 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 do. All right, look at that. Now I have this thing here, and we're going to put the colors down, and I would need to write the color number and the name of the color, because I really I need that. I really need to have that. And so what am I going to do? Put this over here, lay it down there, and can we see it? Yeah, I think we can see it. So we'll start down here. We have 411, and that is burnt sienna. I think we'll just, you know, this, since this color is kind of, it's burnt sienna. 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 And this one here is 616. And just for your information, that in some translations of the Bible, 616 is the number of the beast. Not 666, but 616. It changed. So V, and there's a difference between the Antichrist and the beast. They are two different creatures. VIR, I can barely see that print. VIRID, ID. I-A-N. So Viridian. This one over here is 535. I'm writing this stuff down so that if when I need to replace these colors, I can. And just in case, anyway, this is it's phthalo blue. That's what it is, phthalo blue. So I'm just going to write that down. Phthalo blue. But it's really a light phthalo blue. It's not the same phthalo blue. I'm going to put that phthalo down there. P-H-T-H-A-T-O. Is that what it says? I need my magnifying glass because my glasses are not strong enough to see that print. I got to see here. It's P-H-T-H-A-L-O. So we're going to put that down. That was P-H-T-H-A-L-O. I'm not very good at writing small. My it's that damn audio processing disorder that I have. And I don't have really, really super fine muscle control. I was not born with that, so it's really difficult to write small, which is also why I don't do portraits and fine details. So it's C-E-R-U-L C-E-R-U-L C-E-R-U-L-E-A-N. And I'm going to put the blue here. It'd be blue, B-L-U-E. Okay, it's fine. Then we come down here to 331. And 331 is Madder Lake Deep. Look at that one. The other one in another language is Donker. This is Donker. Crap-lack Donker. Madder Lake Deep. Okay. Madder Lake Deep. Geez, I've never heard of colors like this before. 269. Azo yellow. I'm gonna drop the medium out. It's A-Z-O yellow. Azo yellow. And let's go up to the next one. 254. And it is permanent. P-E-R. Don't even know how to spell that. I can't spell anything today. P-E-R-M-A-N-E-T. Yellow. All right. They say when I watch some watercolor tutorials, they say this is the very, very first step that you need to do is do a color swap of the colors that exist in your set. So Chinese white, 108. Chinese white. All right. Let's go. That was one. That's 366. To my eyes, it's just GD red. Oh, it's quinacridone rose. Quinacridone rose. I'm going to put the rose down. And, God, I hope I can even fit it in here. Quin. Quin. I'm never going to write it in that spot. It's not going to fit. Quinac. What was that? I forgot already. ANACRI. DONE. Okay, close enough. Quinacridone. And what's come down here is permanent red. 370. Permanent red. So what's the one over here? Is that also permanent? This is ultramarine, so we come over here to 506. Ultra. Oh, who in the hell can read that? Can you read that? ULTRA, ultramarine, MARINE, deep. We come across to the next one, 623. 623 is sap green. Okay, good. Something I can spell. Sap green, and then over here again, and we have 227. And it is yellow ochre. Yellow orc. The orcs are out tonight in full daylight. OCHRE. I'll come up here. It says 708. 708, and that is Payne's Gray. Oh, what a pain this is. Payne, Payne's Gray. Yeah, I know, it's a huge pain that you have to watch this. I'm sorry, we got just one more. 409, and this is Burnt Umber. Burnt Umber, UMBER, Umber. And then the last one, 508. 508 is Prussian Blue. PRUSSIANBLUE. Okay, now we got it all written down. And so let's go for it. Let's get crack-a-lack in here. I'm going to crack-a-lack this stuff, move it out. And I'm going to stick this to the back side of the swath card. Anyways, and so here we are. We are going to, I think I'll move it back over. No, I don't want to get it messed up like I did the last time. So we will work to do this without messing up. I really just don't want to have to redo this again. Now, the Chinese white, I'm not going to bother. So maybe we just take it from here. And we're going to move that color right on here. So I'm not going to move it to the mixing tray. Just going to put it in here. We can draw it in a little bit heavier like that. So that's the permanent yellow. I gotta take it off the brush, just like stick to the brush pretty good. Okay. And this is Azo yellow. Azo yellow. For some reason, you know, they say this is important. They say this is an important step in setting up your paint box. When you get a new paint box, watercolor paint box, you want to set it up, and this is part of the setup procedures. And this is the Quinacridone Rose. That's a nice color. And you get to also just see how it behaves on paper. Like that. All right. Take the color off the brush each time. It's really a painstaking process. But you can see real time just how long it takes to do it. This whole video is going to come in at less than an hour because I have just a little bit more to do on... There's something stuck to the bottom of my foot here. Just a little bit more to do on the painting than my first painting for watercolor. There. You get that going on. I want to hurry it up because my watch time is going down as I speak, and we are going to the Prussian blue. Prussian blue. Oh, that's really nice. So you do this, and that way you get to see what colors you actually, how it looks on paper once it's dry. And this is the ultramarine deep. There's something outside. Notice a reflection in the window. The ultramarine deep. Down into the deeps we go. Ha, 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 ha. And this is the blue Cerulean, blue cerulean, or the Phthalo blue. It's got a really nice texture to it. I mean, it's really blue. I'm going to put it over on the other painting. Take it off the brush that way instead of wasting it out. I'm going to give it another second to dry. So, anyways. Then we're going on to the burnt umber. Burnt umber. Which is this color here. Is your earth tones. And it's also, in doing this, you get an idea of how your paper behaves. Of course, I'm not using this paper. You have the other papers, and so we're going to the sap green, which is this one here. Oh, I got some brown on there, so it's going to be not quite right. And you see how that color just behaves, and you push it around. You can move it around on the paper. And that's also just a really an important step, because it's totally different than, already I can see that watercolor is totally different than acrylic painting. And so this is here. Now we're coming down here to this Viridaan, the 616. It's kind of sitting on the top of the surface there. And the Viridaan. I'm not saying these things right. I apologize. I really apologize. I don't say names right. I have a hard time. I don't understand. Unless I've heard the word first, I really rarely can ever pronounce it. So 708 is Payne's Gray. And so for you watching in, this is a huge pain. It is a pain. Payne's gray. And this almost looks like it's a bluish color. Like it's a bluey, has some blue in it. I think that other thing's almost dry. Okay. And there is the yellow ochre, of course. And there we go. Okay. And so for the next, I don't know when, next several months, I am going to be working off a sketchbook. This is my first sketchbook here. And this here is burnt sienna. Burnt sienna. So this is burnt umber. And this is the burnt sienna, which has a more reddish tone to it. Okay, now that we've gotten this step done, I'm going to put that over here. And I'm coming back out with this bad boy here. And we're going to be working on it. I'm going to put this over here. And we're going to finish this guy up. Now what I want to do, and so for this stage, I've been working exclusively with the brush that it came with. I do actually possess watercolor brushes. This is a Da Vinci Petite, and up until today, I've been using acrylic paints like watercolors, because you can do that. You add enough water, and you thin your paints down, and you can make them work like watercolors. And so, but these are just actual watercolors. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually go in to this Chinese white, and I want to add some of that white right on to my moon creature, just to add a different layer there. Maybe it just gives some shading, and just some different textures. You want to work on the texturing. That's where we're at here. And adding that lighter color to it brings out the light, and because when you go from a darker shade to a lighter shade, you get kind of a luminescent quality. And that's kind of what I'm just working for. So when this dries, I think that the darker tones underneath it should also shine through, and that will also give it a different shading too. And so I want to put this in here, in these different places. Here, just some different textures, kind of like that. If you listen carefully, you can hear the brush strokes. If that's something you're into, you can hear me working on this piece of paper. Of course, no one is listening to me working on this piece of paper. Oh, it's textured so beautifully. Okay, what do I got going down here? I'm going to put this in here. Different colors and textures. Let's work on that over there. All right. I want to go back into that red. Which red do I want? That quinacridone rose? Yeah. So now I know what it is. We're going to take that quinacridone rose and still got pigment on it. quinacridone rose. That's this one here. And I'm not going to mix it down here. I'm just going to take this color directly onto here, and we're going to put it onto the surface. And we're adding, by adding this color on here, we're adding depth and dimensionality into the painting, because it's very important to add layers, and our images are built by layering colors one on top of the other. And so there is a carryover, though this may be the second time in my life that I have worked with watercolors. It is not the second time of my life that I have worked with painting. And I've been working for months with thin layers of transparent and semi-transparent paints. And in this here, it works exactly the same as with the acrylics in how to determine a paint is transparent, and I will show you. Let's kind of go into this blue here, and if it's an opaque paint, then I can paint this over the top of this, and since you can still see, that's how the opacity of this is. It doesn't obscure the writing underneath it, so it shows how transparent this paint is. So I'm going to go in and take another color. We're going to do that transparency tint. I'm just going to let this dry here just for a minute, and then I'll be finishing up in just a second. I think I want to add another color on top of that too. So let's just take this, let's go take the Payne's Gray. This is the Payne's Gray. And we're going to do the opacity test right over this. And this is less opaque than the blue, but it's still, you can see how transparent this paint is. And it is transparent. And watercolors, by their very nature, are supposed to be transparent. Because if you want and supposedly the non-transparent watercolor is called gouache. 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 And I don't have any gouache. But, it's a little bit dry here, so I'm going to go back in over this. And we're going to add that light. We're going to be adding the light to it, because I want this to have a luminescent feel, to be really luminous, being illuminated by everything that is here. We have the layer that's in the original layer, and then my new layer is going on top. And you can do this with colored pencils too. You start with a darker shade, and then you go up. You go up and you go lighter, and add light to whatever you're doing. So this is what we're doing. We're adding light to this basic painting, my first watercolor painting. And there we go. You can hear the brush strokes too. Adding light. And I come up over this whole structure too, adding light to it. And it's so quiet now. It's important. Quiet. Paying attentiveness. The attentiveness. Being attentive to what you are doing. This is a spiritual exercise too. a spiritual exercise in attentiveness. The masters, the Buddhist masters, and the Benedictine monks and in part of the monastic movement, it is important to pay attention to what you're doing in the moment. It's a spiritual exercise to do that. Just to pay attention. Pay attention. Mm. Pay attention. Just one brush stroke at a time. And you see, you can actually turn this exercise of painting into a meditation just by painting and paying attention to what you're doing right here and now in this moment. It's just, I just wanted to hold on to this feeling that I'm feeling right now and feeling the moment. That's why I'm whispering, quieting my mind down, being here right now. And you know, I'm getting an emotional response from this. Being here right now reminds me of being in a cathedral church and sitting right by the pipe organ, listening to the choir, listening to that noise, the majesty of the music. And I'm going to add some white into here. It really calls for some white. So push the like and sub button if you like the art. If you watch this for more than 30 seconds, you can push the button. And this is the 999 show doing art right now. It's a pop-up live. Oh, I put yellow into that. But we're gonna go put this white into here. Like some white clouds. Just giving it some accents. My name is Bill William James. And we're just right here, hanging out in the moment. Right in the moment. Creating something for the very first time. is going to have a great work week coming up. A great week. A wonderful time. I probably will do one more layer of paint tomorrow on this because I don't really feel like it's quite done yet. But this is just where we're at right now. And all right. Let's just lift the paint off over this spot here. Take some of this off. And I want to put it in here. Like we got some. Wow. I'm just amazed. I'm actually just in this spot of awe and wonder right now. It's just quiet. Quiet in the house. Quiet on the Western Front. And there we are. You know, though I'm going to do another layer tomorrow, maybe. But I think it needs... Let's see if this works. We'll use this color here. And... it is not working. My initials, it is not coming out good, so we'll just try to blend this stuff into the whole piece. Probably should use something else. Alright. Live stream art. Not something you see every day, is it, huh? Okay. And the last thing we're going to do is I'm just going to put a little bit more color onto this thing. I was dealing with what? What color was that? It doesn't matter, does it? We're going to put, this is my watercolor sketchbook. And I'll be working on this for a little while. You know, how long it'll take me to get through this block. This is a, let's see, turn it over here. This is a fluid watercolor cold press finish, acid-free, 140-pound, 300 GSM, easy block. It's 15 sheets bound on 2 edges, so that you can do just this kind of a thing, and the paper doesn't buckle while you are working it. So the paper doesn't buckle. And that's the importance of doing this kind of a book. And like, look how the paper has buckled here. It has buckled here when I put this, because it's kind of a thinner paper, but I think I want to go, just take some blue here, and we're going to add it on to here. Just the different layers. If you notice, I'm holding the brush way, way back. Way, way back. Not holding it up front like a pencil. I'm holding it a ways away. Just to do lighter touches, lighter touches. And I'm not really worried about being perfect or anything like that. It's 999 show. And this is a Sunday evening pop-up live stream. This is my very second time working with watercolors. I do a variety of content. And last Friday night, I had my very first guest on this show. And I'll be doing guests more frequently as I can, if I can get people to come and want to come on my show, do guests. And we're be working through a tarot coloring book, and that's kind of what we're doing with guesting, I guess. I'm going to just work on, just dressing up my book here, just dressing it up a little bit. I think I'm just gonna add, while we're in this place, I'm just gonna add the color onto it. Just having fun. I mean, no sense being like super duper serious about it. It's kind of important to have fun. I mean, because why are you painting if you're not having fun, right? I mean, granted, when you paint for money, it has a different level of stressors on it. But right now, I'm not painting for money right now. I'm painting for fun. This paint set was a Christmas present by my mama. My mama, she's 85 years old, and I look after her. I look after her in her house so she doesn't have to go to a care center or anything like that. And which affords me the time to work on my art, which if I wasn't her caretaker, I wouldn't have that much time to do this show and do stuff. And then also, in being my mother's caretaker, I also learn about I'm also learning about love and what that means, and how important that is. Because to love, to serve another individual, is to love. That's by its very definition. That's one form of love is service, to serve. And let's just put that in here. When I was young, I always wanted to be, I wanted to be a pastor. First it was with the Lutheran Church, but then when I became a Catholic, I didn't want to be celibate. And so I put aside those things, being a shepherd. But I don't know that I was really ready for that in that time of my life. I think that I was very wanting it to impress others, you know, become a pastor so you can get all the girls. It's like becoming a poet to get the girls, which is what I think Charles Bukowski kind of talked about. Anyways, we just kind of go into that stream of consciousness zone here. I just want to dress this up. Let's see. I think I want to put another color in where the hole is at. So if you're just kind of looking in, feel free to come into the chat and say hello. Tell me where you're from. I'm going to take this was the azo yellow. And I'm going to put that right in here. Boop, boop. Got to make the noise. Boop, boop, boop. Boop, 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 boop. There we go. Maybe we'll do in some of these other places too. Boop, 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 boop. Boop, 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 boop. Boop, 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 boop. And do I have some more places? Yeah. Boo, 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 boo. Boo, 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 boo. There we go. And clean the brush off. Clean the brush off. What should I have down here? I think I want to have... I don't know what I want to have down there. Well, I think we'll just do more of this yellow, right? And it is an exercise. Not only is this just for fun, but it's also an exercise of working on brush control. Learning how everything behaves, the behaviors of the pigments on the paper. I don't know. I have a lot of anxiety right now. Lots of anxiety. Trying to, being a caregiver for an elderly person is really hard. Especially a parent. It's really hard. I'm constantly anxious. You just never know. Just never know how much time that person has left. Even though they may seem in good health, you just never know. Just never know. And oftentimes at night, I am frightened a lot. Just want to talk about that. Our world is a scary place. But, just don't want to be left alone in the world. Though my mom depends on me for many, many things, I, in turn, do depend on her just being there. And just being there. It's just so hard. Sometimes it's just so hard. it's just hard to express exactly how hard this is if you haven't really been there and been in there and doing. I would have not known just a few years ago how hard it would be, because when I was working full time and when I was working full time, I didn't worry about this. I went to work, came home, went out and had fun, had good times on my days off. I haven't really don't get days off as a caregiver. It's all the time. And maybe we can make it more a two-tone color thing. I'm sure there's somebody out there right now that really needs to hear this. Who's going through a similar situation, being caregiver for a parent, maybe, and as with my case, is my last parent. My father passed on in 2012, suddenly, died suddenly in a car accident. I'm not seeking condolences or sorries or anything like that from anybody. It's just the way it is. Just talking, I'm venting, talking. And taking that pigments right out of, like it's coming straight out of the tube, but here, coming straight out of the pan. And so, the painting's starting to dry up a little bit. I think I can do one more layer so I got the brush cleaned off. Okay, let's just go and do this other color over here. I'm gonna put this in here just to give it a little bit of a different kind of just for fun. It's really important to have fun. A lot of times people just don't think about what it is like to do that, to be a caregiver, and never really go anyplace. It's just staying home and cooking, cleaning a little bit, cleaning, cooking, making the home environment a livable space, hanging out, watching TV, doing important tasks, but also not doing everything, because you don't want to take over everything, because you want the person to have a sense of their own dignity and their own independence. And I really loathe to take over too many tasks. But she hasn't really felt good. So I've had to take over more and more things. It bothers me. I get more anxious, more and more anxious. More and more anxious. Just taking these colors and we're just moving them on to the page. Yeah. What did Bob Ross say to get kind of crazy here? But I'm decorating my sketchbook, and it's nice colors though. Got these different yellows. I'm gonna come over to this yellow ochre, and pull some of this right off of the pan. And I'm going to just put it in here. Kind of almost brings in like some British tones in there. Some random shapes. Even over here. Here we go. I think it's dry enough that I can do another layer. Yeah. Yeah, let's do the last layer. I want to add just more light to it, that's all. Adding some more light. And what I mean by light is more yellow. I know that you haven't been watching the whole time, but maybe somebody watches this on the replay. I don't know, maybe. Oh, I meant like 90 minutes in already. I just thought I would be done in about an hour. But I just putting this yellow, I mean, light. Let there be light, and there was light. Light accents. And I'm really interested to see how it turns out tomorrow after it's dried all night. And look at the textures on here. I think the textures on here are really cool. For just first watercolor abstract painting. Just for fun. I'm just going to put it over here. This, I had put some white down on here, but we're going to come back over that white, and we're adding something else to it here. I'm going to put this in here, just some few of these zones. I'm going to come back in and add some of that quinacridone. Quinacridone rose right onto the tree structure. That's what that is. I don't know what it is. It's something. And maybe we'll put some of this yellow right in here. Yeah, a little bit of a kind of a color is coming down onto the page. There we go. And then we'll just do the one last thing. I want to put some more white. No, not yet. Maybe tomorrow. We're gonna do. Let's see, what color am I gonna do? That's maybe I'm gonna use this Madder Lake Deep. The Madder Lake Deep. Yeah, let's do that. The Madder Lake Deep. We're just taking it directly right off the pan. We're gonna put it right in here. Oh yeah, well thank you, Susan. Yeah, it's just so hard. That's all I can say is this so hard. So hard. It's hard all the time. Yeah. Oh, I didn't want that color. That's all I can just say. It's just so hard. There's so much about our lives that is just so hard, and we need all these distractions. Painting for me is a real huge distraction. And, you know, it is. It's full time. And I get like one day off a month, and I have a volunteer job at a store that sells my art. And But then it's like the other thing, Susan, is that my mom is like sensitive to COVID, and she's been in the hospital twice with the COVID, and so and she has some chronic health issues, and so it's like you got to be extra cautious while everyone else is running around in the stores and they're or whatever, or your local, and so me, I'm there, I'm putting a mask on, and I'm wearing a mask because I don't want to bring COVID back home. I don't want to bring the flu back home. I don't want to bring RSV or whooping cough or anything like that, or the stomach flu, which is what she's got a little touch of that right now, the stomach flu, and been kind of down with that for several days. You know, yeah, it does. It does. I'm having a little anxiety problems right now, and one of the neighbors passed away. We went to his funeral yesterday, and he was like almost he's like a few months older than my mom, and they went to school together. Like I don't know, long time ago, grew up in the area, and so every time that happens, the death of loved ones or death of relatives, and then I just get so scared and so paranoid and so anxious, just so anxious, and sometimes it's so hard to cope. A couple of years ago, I was seeing a psychologist because I just couldn't cope with it. It was so hard. It's a little bit better now, but it's still just so hard to cope. You know that you're going to be alone, and all this stuff is all part of life. It's all part of life, and I understand that. You understand this stuff intellectually, but you really just don't understand it in reality. And everyone, it's the same. It's we understand that our lives are finite here, but we understand it intellectually, but we don't really understand it. And when my dad died, the heartbreak I felt was unbelievable. I couldn't, it took me. I don't right now. I don't. It's different. It's because it's like 12, 13 years have passed by, but for the first few years, it was just so hard. And then I went to work. I took a job that was at the place that he retired from, and I would walk in the back halls of that company, and people there knew my dad, and so there was knowledge of him, and you know stuff like that. You and maybe I like how that color works on the surface here. Look at that. Yeah, this is really interesting. All these different layers on here. I wonder what I'm gonna come up with. This is, yeah. I wonder if I'll be better with watercolors than I am with your acrylics. I really like what's going on here, and just talking about this stuff. This is, yeah, yeah. It's just so hard. You know, and like last August, July, August, my mother's first cousin and his son died at the same time. They got run over by a car. So that he was my first cousin once removed, and my second cousin, and that was so hard too because my dad died in a car accident, and so you have these this stuff and this stuff with the car. And then what, like a month ago, a friend of the family, it was a friend of my mom's family, my friend of my family, and his son, who was like, youngest son, who was just a few years younger than me, almost got killed in a car accident. And the guy, he was lucky. He got really lucky. You know, they took him 3 hours to cut him out of the car, and he was pronounced dead at the scene, but he's now in a care center recovering. And so that's a good news thing. But that, my mom took that really hard too. And she took the death of her cousin, first cousin, really hard. And took the death of the neighbor really hard. And then another neighbor too. All, you know, in her same age group. And then, you know, in her class, there's only like her and 3 or 4 others that are remaining in her high school, grade school graduating class. And yeah, I don't know. It's what it is. What was number 411? That was this burnt sienna. I don't want to add that color on top of it. Just talking. I'm just venting. I say just venting. I think we're just going to add a little bit more of this color. I'm just trying to see how long it takes to dry. I got this burnt sienna here. Putting that in there just a little bit. Kind of moving that color around. Maybe we'll just kind of put it in here. Making a mountaintop in the far distant. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe a little more of that green. I like this. Let's try this green here. And make sure I get the color out of it. And yeah, here we go. This is the little seam. Yeah, I'll be back on Tuesday night, probably 9 p.m. 9 p.m. I'm working on an Oracle deck, a crosswords Oracle deck, and I'm just going to be working on the next stage of it. I don't know what stage that is. So 9 p.m. Pacific time is when I'll be starting that live. And it'll just be some, you know, fun stuff. And thank you very much, Susan, for popping in and saying hello. And, you know, knowing it's nice knowing that we're not alone in these things. And anyways, I think this looks pretty cool. I think I want to put I'm going to push a little bit more white into the surface, into some spots. Did I get all the color out of it? Yeah. So we got this white. Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Susan. And yeah, so yeah, that's what we're just gonna put into that light. I like how it behaves. This is so interesting. Thank you very much. I'm trying here, you know, I'm trying my best. I'm just put that in there and make some different patterns of the sky. And I really can't wait to see what this looks like when I wake up in the morning, because it will, all these colors will have dried together, and there'll be these layers and layers and layers of color. think we're going to put some of this white in here. There we go. I like that. It's kind of this abstract thing. Yeah. Well, I wanted to thank everybody who came into the chat today to say hello, tell a little bit about your story. I appreciate that. I love this. I just really love this. Putting some of this in here to get some depth in it. And I hope that everybody has a wonderful week, a wonderful work week, a wonderful school week, a wonderful caregiving week, if that is where you're at, like me. You know, just hope that nothing really bad happens. And I like these mountains in the distance. There's a rawness to it. And yeah, this almost looks like a tarot card. It looks like a tarot card, actually. Well, maybe Moon Scarab is right that I need to make my own illustrated oracle deck. You know, we are working on something, but it's first one is way simpler. Maybe this has got some snow in the distance. That's what it is. A little bit of accents. It'll dry together. I just really like this. It's like beginner's luck. Yeah, I'm not liking what has happened over there, but it's all right. Come back in, and we'll put this back on here. Yeah. Well, it's what it is. It's what it is. It's what it is. It's what it is. And what does the Bible say the most? It's do not be afraid. It's between love and do not be afraid are the most common phrase in the whole thing is do not be afraid. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid. It's obviously that's significant. And there's so much fear in our world. And it's so hard to not be afraid. Do not be afraid. And I'm saying this to myself as a mantra. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid. It feels like there's something else that needs to be here. Maybe I feel like if I put some other things in here, I'm going to ruin it. And maybe I don't want to ruin it. Maybe we leave it just as is. Do another little layer of light on the surface tomorrow. Maybe a little bit in the blue. A little in the blue here. pushing the color around, moving around. Let's get some of this spot here. Make it darker. Let's go in, go after that ultramarine blue that's right here, and put it down here. Just run a lot of that color on here and let it, we'll just let it pull it down and let gravity turn it into some other kinds of structures. The water, the water is just pulling up on the surface. If you can see that, I don't know if you can see that, but we're allowing gravity here to it's going to roll down a little bit and add these different textures, almost like a 3D effect here. All right. Well, you know what? I could keep on working this color and keep on working it for hours and hours and hours and hours. But I'm going to call it a night right now. This is my third live stream of the day. I started this at 11:15 on January 12th, 2025. I did one in the afternoon when I started this one, and then I did one at 12:21 called the After Church Chat, and I just sort of talked about things. I'm going to be doing my After Church Chat every Sunday around 12:21 p.m. Talk about something. And Tuesday night I'm going to be working on my Oracle deck. Friday I'm going to try and have another guest on, and we're going to color a tarot card. Again, I had Roots and Waves on last Friday. She's actually one of my channel moderators too, but she was on and she directed me on how I colored it. I can show you what we did on Friday night. So this was the book we were working out of, and we did the sun, and so this is, oh, it's the moon. We did the moon card. See, there's some similarities here because my brain has been on the moon, and so I'm going to do, hopefully I'm going to do the star card with Care Bear Bard of the Cards. The star card with Care Bear Bard of the Cards sometime, maybe even this week, but it'll be at a different time. She's on the East Coast, and so I have to do it on a different time. And anyways, this is all for tonight. And like I said, this is my second time in this. This is a Van Gogh pocket box. It has 15 pans of color plus a little brush. All the words on the back here are in some other language. This was there's the colors there. But I'm going to take this thing here, which was, I'm going to add that right on the back here so I can remember what colors they were. Okay, there we go. Those are the colors in the box. And we'll put this down this way like this. And I think probably it's best that I take these colors and wipe them out. I don't need them running together on everything. So the next step is to clean off the brushes. I think that it's clean here. And the brush collapses down like this. Oh, I guess I went offline for a second, which is all right. I'm at the end of the stream. Kind of goes together like that. And there's the box, and it's just a cute little thing. You know, I'm just not used to a paint kit being so small. I mean, I have on my table here all my acrylic paints. I mean, these aren't all of them. These are just some of them, because these are the ones I've been working with of late. One of them's completely empty, and this color too. So these are this is a student grade paint for Amsterdam series of colors, but I don't have it any of these, and these are professional grade paints. See how much space these tubes take, and then you got this little box here with 15 colors. I mean, these are what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is 11 colors, and it takes up that much space. And then we have this little tiny little box that has 15 colors in it. You know, it's just amazing. All right, I'm gonna turn the camera off, and I'm gonna take a day off tomorrow. Normally I don't stream on Mondays. Mondays is my day off, and that's it. I don't know what I'm going to do on my day off. It's not a day off caregiving, it's just a day off of my channel. I'll probably do some reading. I want to watch a movie like Bohemian Rhapsody, but I'm going to like skip over all the depressing parts, you know, like when Freddie Mercury goes into the drugs and he goes off the rails and he gets sick with everything, and he goes off and does the solo part, the whole depressing part of the movie. I'm going to skip that whole piece and just going to watch the front part of it, and then the back part when they do that concert at the end. And I really love those kinds of videos or movies. There's not that many of them out there where they go through there's A Star is Born. I have that one. The one that was done recently with what's his name, and Lady Gaga. That's a really good one. But there's also a section in those movies that I don't like either, because it's when the guy he spins out of control with the drugs and the alcohol, and it gets so dark. I tend to want to skip all that dark stuff because it's really hard. It's hard to watch that stuff. You know, then there's the same with the rock star. Maybe that is what the name, but the rock star with Marky Mark, with Mark Wahlberg. I love that film too. And then let me see. Are those the only two? Then I have like a full concert. I actually have 2 full concerts of Coldplay in my repertoire of movies. And then on DVD, I have several metal shows. And good night, Susan. Thank you very much for being here. And I'm gonna just call it quits for the night myself. This is 999 Show doing art. And there are these buttons to push. They could really help me out. And I'm going to push the off button now. Thank you very much. Good night.